Hi Libra, here is a general look at your solar chart for April 2013, and every year at this time the Sun comes into the opposite sign to yours, that's Aries, and so it's to do with relationships, which is right up your street, of course, Libra. And this is no time to be going alone. This is a good time to team up with someone. This is the time for you to figure out how to get the best out of alliances, cooperative relationships, partnerships, and over this time you and somebody could be bonding or negotiating or forming a united front, or just kind of, you know, bouncing ideas off each other. But also there's a real practical slant because of where Mercury is until mid-month. So however it is for you, there's this feeling of mutual interaction, and you're depending on somebody else's contribution, but also possibly it could be the other way around as well, and you can be more successful if you team up. This vibration can give love relationships and friendships a boost, particularly because Venus is in the same sector until the 15th, and after the 20th feelings can deepen, and relationships can become more intimate. From the 20th actually is a transitional stage or transformational stage, but I would say transitional. Yes, a transitional stage. You'll be shifting a gear, you'll be shifting from one stage or chapter or standpoint to another, and you're going to be a little bit more sensitive and sensitive to others as well, as you weigh up the odds, gauge things and move forwards in a kind of an intuitive sort of a way, and maybe you're more conscious of the emotional angle, or maybe you're more conscious of the financial angle at this time. Now Mercury until the 14th, Mercury is in the same place it's been in since February, and has just got 2 more weeks of April to go before he moves, and he's in an area to do with it's a maintenance orientated area, sort of a working area of your chart. So over this very long transit, discussions and information exchange and paperwork and correspondence could be very much centered around that, have a real practical flavor, and be orientated around chores or health or work, and you thinking about the nuts and the bolts and dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and all of that could have been a keynote. You could also be learning useful new skills, you know, getting your head around new information, seeing how it's done, getting the know-how, and applying that, or maybe also applying, you know, skills and knowledge that you have already. Then from the 14th, when Mercury finally moves, then it goes into your communications, a more communicative area, shall I say, and then even more than ever you could be feeling a mental rapport with somebody. You could be bouncing ideas off, playing with ideas there, exchanging information, consulting with somebody, an agent of some kind, but also others could see you as an agent, as a go-between, as the information bringer. So you could be more in relation with someone whose guidance is and information is invaluable to you at that time, and there's likely to be more conversations and discussions around that, and it will be necessary for you to strive to express yourself as clearly as you can in all of these sorts of interactions. Until the 15th, Venus, your ruling planet, is in her favorite place, boosting relationships of all kinds, whether they're working ones or personal ones, and you and someone can really click and get on really well together. Working one-to-one could be more of a pleasure, it could be more fulfilling, but also possibly there could be a money element here as well. It could be more lucrative because you are teaming up with this certain other. Whatever kind of relationship it is, you should benefit from their presence, their financial contribution, or their enabling a financial improvement anyway, or loving attention. And then when Venus moves on the 15th, she will be in even a more an area which encourages, which opens the path to even better resources, even better chance for financial, the flow of finances to be going in your direction in major or minor ways. And negotiations or deeper connections could go well. You and somebody could get, sort of start snuggling up together, however you want to see that. Some of you will shift into more commitment in a material or emotional sense, depending on your natal chart and on your own ability to manifest what you want for the future, because we all can now. It's a lot easier now that we are where we are in this new age of Aquarius. Your feelings could be near the surface, your feelings could be quite touched sometimes, and you could feel that things are getting more involved, and it's a good time perhaps to at least with somebody you trust have that heart-to-heart talk, and really let your feelings out, because there is a tendency with so much activity in this area of your chart in the second half of the month onwards, that you keep an awful lot under your hat and an awful lot to yourself. So there should be somewhere where you can just air your views on something and get some confidential advice, but also give confidential advice, because this is also a time when that might be happening. And this, as I said at the beginning, is a period that may bring about a shift and a new chapter and a new understanding, put things on a different footing, and particularly with Venus, that is with regard to your relationships. So it could put a relationship, give a new beginning, or open a new phase in a certain relationship, whether that is in your personal life or whether that's just, some sort of anonymous, faceless outside agency that you've got a relationship with. It does actually start things off anew. Now, until the 20th, personal, professional encounters are likely to be lively and productive, but really maybe sometimes because of the agenda or rules or regulations of another, you've got to use more of your physical energy, and just be careful, that you pace yourself and don't get tired up because you're taking on so much because of what their requirements are, whoever they are. But also with Mars here, others could feel a strong pull towards you. You could feel strong pull towards somebody else. Just be patient and don't be too hasty. Don't be too quick off the mark, because Mars here means that you can, handle somebody badly. Don't think something through, or throw caution to the wind, or even make a full start before you jump in with someone on something. So just keep things on an even keel, and you should be okay. But cooperating with someone in a general sense, as long as it's balanced and as long as you aren't always out in front, being the one who is perhaps wanting, Mars likes speed, and Mars likes to be out in front, so maybe, you know, you see others are dragging their feet, or maybe they're not seeing something in the way that you do, and you make decisions and you want to surge on ahead. So just be aware that others, you know, they might not like that very much, or it might be counterproductive in some way. So be still enough to hear another's feedback, to sense where another is at, and then make the decision. And then you'll be more effective than you would have been maybe. And then from the 20th, Mars moves out of there and goes into this transitional area, which is going to help you change gears, but you will have a lot going on inside of you, and as you are maybe trying to weigh things up over something financial or property or a relationship, and you are really digging down to the deeper layers and pondering things quite a lot, and maybe again keeping a lot in and a lot to yourself, and maybe even withdrawing a little bit, because you're wanting to feel your way forward, and you don't want to be too influenced by the voices or opinions or the oughts or shoulds of others. And you will probably come up against a sort of a barrier, which is somebody else's set of values or moral code, and of course you will have to try and find a way to be true to your own values and your own moral code, because you have your integrity. But being fair to others is often easier for you, Libra, than being fair to yourself. So anyway, there you go. Just be aware of that. Certain contracts or agreements in relationships could be an area of contention, but also you feel quite passionate about something, you know, and it really gets under your skin as well. So this is an area where you can't have ultimate control directly, but if you're a good strategist and you pace yourself and you just hone things down to the very bones of what's most important, you get to the bottom line, then you can do pretty okay with this transit, or more than okay, you can do well. But there is always this sense of being really sort of wound up, you know, with Mars in this area here, and there can be this clash because your deeper feelings are being triggered. Having said that, this can be a very intimate, very fulfilling and sizzly time for some of you as well. But there is a big banner across the sky here which is saying don't hesitate to let go of what isn't feeling right to you anymore. Don't be afraid. Don't feel like, you know, you're losing face or embarrassed. It doesn't feel right. It just isn't fitting, and it's not relevant. And just make that space, clear that away, make the space for the new green shoots to come up. Now Jupiter is in a very long transit until June, in an area which is helping you to grow and to learn lots of new stuff through connecting with those with an area of expertise, like in an advisory capacity, like teachers, but also advisors and experts, travel, foreign connections, wider communications across the board, also through language, and just mixing and mingling and getting into new territories, really. But this is an area which is great for communications of all kinds as well, and for broadcasting things across a wider stage, but also covering great distances also. And you some of you have been, you know, having a brush with the law, or going into the legalities of this or that or the other, or being more involved in publishing, politics, or media with Jupiter here. It's all about expanding into new areas and learning new things. And you Librans born between the 30th of September and the 6th of October, or with 11 to 18, 19 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. Saturn is in the sign after yours, in an area to do with material security, finances, property. That's where the challenges are for the next 2 years. And discipline, effort, plugging away, not giving up, but being able to see when something is chronically going bad, regularly tiring you out, just not feeling stagnant, really. And that's when you've got to be brave enough to shift and move in whatever way. But on the other hand, Saturn here, the great builder of the zodiac, isn't just there to test you and to challenge you and throw down the gauntlet, but is also meaning that you can step by step, little by little, build something, better finances, better situation regarding a property, lines of supply, resources, which maybe some of which are natural resources which don't cost anything, you know, whether it's cash or vegetables, or a wind turbine or a solar panel. So gradually this side of life will be taking the shape that you desire. But consistency, if you've got an aim, if you've got something, some project on the drawing board, then you've got to understand that it's slow and sure like the tortoise, and not speedy and lightning fast like the hare. That's the way you're going to be successful. And you Librans born 30th of September or 4th of October, or with 7 to 11 degrees rising, you're going to feel this energy the most this month. The planets Uranus, Neptune and Pluto don't change their position very much every month, so if you want to know which part of your sign they're affecting, have a look at my website. Uranus is transiting your opposite sign for a few years to come, and during that time partnerships will have ups and downs, and they will be sort of now you see them, now you don't, or they will be off and on, and that won't be the whole time, of course. That will be when Uranus comes within range of an important point in your natal chart. For you Libra or Libra rising people, the Uranian energy is very inconsistent and sort of jerky, which may mean that your close relationships follow suit. But on the plus side, your life can be turned around and changed by certain close relationships, whether those are personal or professional ones. And it doesn't have to just be one, it can be, you know, at different times, at different types of relationship over those many years. And you Librans, well, no, I'm not going to tell you that because that's on my website. It's not moved a lot since last month though. And the transit of Neptune means that you are giving more freely or selflessly of your services, almost like it's a labor of love what you're doing. Maybe you're working in more spiritual healing type ways. Maybe you are connecting in with water or the arts, particularly music and dance, or anything to do with the creative imagination. Neptune is the most ethereal of all the planets, and it can also have a beneficial effect on health matters, whether that's yours or that of others. Maybe you're working more in a way that will benefit those who have health challenges. And then Pluto, which is in Capricorn, is helping you to dig deeper into yourself, to figure out what you really want to be in the world and where you want to go from here. And it'll spark or renew your dedication to achieving certain outcomes in your life. And this is a strong drive within you. You're ultra sensitive in this area of career or general life direction, and keener to be in control there and to climb the ladder of success but sometimes getting the feeling that circumstances beyond your control are buffeting you all over the shop, and it's not your fault, and you look for somebody to blame. Pluto is really, really a factor which goes to the sort of shadow side of us all, and of course at this time it's very hard, it's much harder for most of us to succeed because of the economic downturn. So with Pluto here, you will have such a strong willpower and such a strong drive to succeed, but just be careful that you don't get too blinkered and obsessive about what you're doing, and you don't smell the flowers along the way and have some fun along the way, but also see a bit wider and see other options are there for you. And the part of your sign that's affecting mostly is going to be on my website. And then just at the end, I mention of a few little transits on the 1st and 2nd, something underlying maybe in your feelings which you didn't know were there, or in somebody else, is likely to come to light, and that could actually clear the air. On the 21st, 22nd, there's a tendency for blinkered thinking, closed-minded thinking, so hopefully it's not you. There's just that sort of feeling around there. Just keep an open mind and know that there's another way of seeing things. On the 22nd, don't expect too much from others or from yourself, so just look after yourself on that day. Tuck yourself away a little bit, as much as you can. On the 28th and 30th to the 1st of May, there's a bit more pressure for you to push against there. It's a little bit more stacked up there, and you should just stay positive and keep calm and stay keep a cool head and move forwards with confidence, and you should be fine. And that's it for April. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, then listen to the forecast for those. It'll you can put it together in a way that you can understand with all three of them together, and I will see you the next time.